Good afternoon. You're watching Business World Live. I'm Jess De Los Santos. We're a few hours away from the new year, but first, let's take a look at how the local bourse closed today, Friday. Okay, what a way to close the books on the trading year as the index plummeted in its final session, a whopping 2.9% slump to seal 2021 at 7,122, snapping a three-day winning streak here for the main gauge. This means local shares ended the year down by a quarter of a percent from where it started in 2021. Today's fluctuation happened as the government stepped on the brakes on further easing of cases, on further easing of mobility restrictions as cases surge. A new alert level 2 remains in place until mid-January after the Philippines again reported 1,600 infections on Thursday with positivity rate increasing to 6.6%. Now, Japet Ancangco of Philstocks Financial says that hopes for a stronger rebound was tempered by the spike, adding to worries of a potential Omicron driven surge. Again, looking at our 30 member index here, 27 of the members declined today, with the Boites shedding 6.6%, and Megaworld rather also losing as much as 5.4%. Ayala also joining the sell off here, even as it converted its $46.4 million loan to Yoma Strategic in 2020 into shares. So that's going to complete its acquisition of the Myanmar firm, furthering the conglomerate's expansion in the Southeast Asian country. Ayala Corporation, however, today, like what I mentioned earlier, down 4.6% to 831 apiece. Ayala Land, Pure Gold, and Robinson's Land, the only set of blue chips today which advanced. Enough of the grim news, however, in the market. Let's go to stock, which posted a huge leap today. I'm talking about Apex Mining bucking the sell-off with an 11% jump. This over bullishness that a tender offer from ICTSI's Enrique Razon will boost the miners' prospects, according to Carlos Temporal of AP Securities. Razon's takeover is a key factor, with some speculating that he may inject assets into the company. Apex is also seen to gain from the lifting of the ban on open pit mining. As you can see right here, Apex Mining again ending the session at 1 peso and 61 centavos a share. Here are other headlines we're keeping our eyes on. The palace says the country will remain under alert level 2 until mid-January due to the continuous rise in COVID-19 cases, as well as the threat of the Omicron variant. Acting presidential and IATF spokesperson Carlo Nograles says that based on current parameters, there's no area in the country that needs to be placed under the stricter alert level 3 for now. Nograles says the IATF has the power to change the alert level status of any area at any time if the COVID-19 situation in these places worsen. For now, the palace is reminding LGUs to immediately implement granular lockdowns in areas where they are needed. Meanwhile, the Bureau of Quarantine says it's detecting more positive cases among returning overseas Filipinos. The total has risen to up to 100 in the last 2 weeks of December from the 20 recorded earlier last month. Also, the Bureau has already prepared charges against the woman who is now dubbed by many as Poblacion Girl. The Health Department and other concerned agencies have vowed to find out how this individual, a returning overseas Filipino, was able to escape or skip quarantine protocols. France is providing 2 million euros or around 115 million pesos in emergency assistance to the Philippines for its Typhoon Odette response efforts. The French Ministry for Europe and Foreign Affairs says it is also mobilizing 1 million euros to support the French NGO Acted and the French Red Cross with its partner, the Philippine Red Cross. This aid includes the distribution of thousands of family and hygiene kits, as well as support for the rehabilitation of destroyed or damaged houses in the provinces of Surigao del Norte, Palawan, and Bohol. Meanwhile, death toll from Typhoon Odette has climbed to 405, according to the latest tally by the NDRRMC. The agency said over 1,000 people were injured while 82 are still missing. Now, other than the threat of serious injuries due to firecrackers, health experts are also cautioning the public against some activities during New Year celebrations, especially since it might be considered, those activities might be considered as COVID 19 spreaders. Mobile journalist Jacob Lazaro gives us the front seat to the story.
Firecracker-related injuries have always been the bane of the New Year holidays.
Noong 2017, naalala ko nung nag-apply pala ako dito, ang daming puro madami may dugo, nagpuputol kami ng daliri, ganun. We had so many cases even before the New Year.
But even in the midst of a pandemic, firecrackers are taking their toll. During last year's celebration, 13 people were injured from December 21 to December 29. This year, the number has almost doubled to 25. Under Executive Order 28, signed by President Duterte in 2017, firecrackers can only be used in community fireworks displays under supervision of both the PNP and the LGU. This means Piccolo, Watusis, 5 stars, and other large firecrackers cannot be used by ordinary people.
Yung firecrackers kasi parang hindi mo magigets kung kailan siya puputok. Lalo na yung mga hindi quality na firecracker.
But the other traditional noisemakers is no longer safe to use because of the pandemic. Horns, whistles, and even the karaoke are being discouraged because of the danger of COVID transmission. Celebrating anything during the pandemic is very stressful, as almost everything is not allowed. So with all of these restrictions, how can we festively celebrate New Year's Eve? Well, there are some alternatives. The DOH encourages smashing of pans, tambourines, bells, light-emitting devices, and percussion instruments. Also, pyrotechnic devices are not banned, just regulated. Roman candles, fountains, and sparklers are available, so as long as they're used in designated areas.
As I said, proper regulation is the best. Regulation is the problem.
Ong reminds the public to first always check if the product has a product safety seal and to make sure that the brand is trusted. Mobile journalist Jacob Lazaro, we are One News.
One of the most watched TV shows around the world this 2021 is Squid Game, and this blockbuster Korean series, as well as BTS, drove a boom in Korean-made goods this year. More of this story courtesy of Bloomberg Quick Take.
South Korea's entertainment and content like Squid Game has been booming, and that's also luring customers to embrace the country's culture and cuisine all the way in the US. And that includes this ramen and also dumplings, as well as water purifiers promoted by BTS. Let me show you what they are. So these frozen dumplings are called mandu, and Seoul-based CJ Jeojedang is the company behind them. It's perfect.
Mandu became popular to BTS fans when the two members of the boy band said they were fighting over the Korean dumplings, and they even mentioned the fighting and mandu in one of their songs. Also, CJ's acquisition of an American brand Shuwan's helped the Korean company increase sales of frozen foods in the US. It's a $570 million in foreign sales of mandu in 2020, almost double its domestic haul. And Bibigo is main mandu brand, partnered up with the Los Angeles Lakers for jersey sponsorship. Another company that faced a surge of sales thanks to K-pop's popularity is a Korean water purifier maker Koei that used BTS to advertise its products. Koei reported record sales for the third quarter, driven by 43% growth in Malaysia and 12% in the US.
Now I'm gonna cook chapaguri, which was featured in the movie Parasite. So what I've just made is a mix of two noodle products, chapaguri and noguri. And this might look familiar to you if you watched the movie Parasite. The instant noodle maker Nongsim stock price surged after one of the female characters cooked this.
The company's overseas sales jumped 24% year-on-year in 2020 to $990 million after the movie received the Academy Award and became really credited for helping introduce Korean cinema to new audiences.
And it also resonated at home with a 60% surge in domestic sales in the 3 days following the Oscar win.
Dalgona used to be one of the favorite snacks of Korean school children after the Korean War. The sugar candy is resurging in popularity after Squid Game's competitors had trouble cutting it into shapes.
South Korea exported around $4.3 billion worth of food in 2020 to the world. And that's the largest ever since the country was established, according to the government data. Could the food be the next phase of the global K-wave?
And those are the biggest stories this trading day, December 31st, 2021. Catch Business World live again Monday next week at 9:30 a.m. for the market open. I'm Jess De Los Santos, and we are One News. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe. Philippines, have a happy new year.
Monday morning.